So when we are ready, there are other dimensions of life that we may have perhaps been missing out on, not consciously aware of them. When we say when you are ready, this means when we are seeking something more than what we have already been shown and taught, beyond what we can mentally grasp, even perhaps beyond the imagination. When we are looking for something more than all that, something that goes beyond our limits, beyond the limits of the little bit of intelligence we have gathered, then we are essentially ready for something more, to get more deeply in touch with other dimensions of our existence, our full true nature. So there is a physical body, there's an emotional body, there's the mental body, and then there is the energetic body. This is a more subtle aspect of our life, of our being, that ties in with all the others, kind of like just different layers. It's just different, not separate, but intimately connected with all of the rest, all flowing as one. But we see the energy body is different because it is more subtle, and it is perhaps less common for us to be aware of it, to notice it. Because again, it's not always included in our childhood as important lessons and teachings that are given to us. It's not something we are often encouraged to get in touch with, to notice and develop an awareness of. Before meditation and simply reaching our true potential, the energy body, and being aware of the energy body is crucial. One huge reason or issue people have with meditation is that they're so used to identifying with the body and the mind. They are so used to feeling emotions or other sensations, and also thinking, processing information. And so when we finally are still and silent, of course all of this information is just like blasting us. We become hyper aware of it. We can hyper focus on all of it if we're not careful. And we can easily attach to it and get lost in any of it. So people, a lot of them complain about just not being able to stop thinking, or their thoughts are just too much and they're getting lost in them. So we have to learn to stop identifying with the thoughts so much and attaching to them, and simply observing them and letting them come and go. Getting in touch with the energy body is also so very helpful with this. Because once we realize there is this whole other dimension of our life that we've been ignoring, perhaps, missing out on, that was always there, is a huge part of our existence. Once we realize that, we may definitely tend to focus, to allow our awareness to unfold with that energy body, rather than identifying with the mind and the body, physically and emotionally. So we have to be able to give ourselves options. That seems really important. If the thoughts are all that we're aware of, then of course we're going to be focusing on the thoughts. It's so difficult not to. Because we're thinking all day long, we're finally still and quiet, of course the thoughts are going to be like exploding, like a loudspeaker. Can't get out of it, stuck in it like a web. So we need to be able to get in touch with that subtle dimension that's there. And how we do that can be different for everybody. I'm not going to tell us how to do it, For some, it might be psychedelics. For others, it may be meditation. For some, it may be inducing trance-like states through certain actions and repetitious movements, chantings, sounds, etc. So various different ways to do it. It maybe just happen spontaneously one day too. I have no idea. My experience was with the first Reiki attunement. And immediately after that, I laid down and just felt this intense buzzing, this vibration going through my entire body like never before. And that really helped me to become more aware of the energy body. Not necessarily even the Reiki itself that did it, but the process and surrendering to that energy allowed the awareness to expand and deepen. And after that, I simply continued to allow it to expand and deepen, even if not practicing Reiki. So Reiki is not, again, a necessity for everybody to get in touch with the energy body. But it is, the potential is there. Not a guarantee though. So it's not for everyone. And so you will find your own way by simply surrendering and allowing life to unfold. And again, when we're ready, it will simply happen, as long as we're not resisting it and fighting it, ignoring it, which again we can do through over-identifying with the body and the mind, attaching to all that, and not allowing awareness to expand with the other dimensions. But I feel like this is really helpful for especially those who are trying to meditate. If you get in touch with that energy body, it changes everything. It changes your outlook. It changes how you think of yourself and just so much about you. I'm able to visualize and feel the energy body whenever and at all times, not just in meditative states, but whenever. And whenever it needs to happen, whenever I surrender to it, it can be a constant thing. It can come and go. So as of right now, all I have to do is just remember it, essentially. And that's really all we're doing, is remembering this deep, innate part of our being. If we're able to do that, remember it's always there, then we'll simply be aware of it. We don't have to go into meditation or trance or do psychedelics at that point. We can still if we want, but it's not as necessary. We can feel the energy body and surrender to it, be one with it at all times. And this is also a very crucial step in our evolution, is being aware of that energy body and surrendering to it with visualizations or feelings, or however it happens with us, however we are aware of it. Just allowing that awareness to deepen and expand. And it is such a miraculous and wonderful process, an aspect of our being. So deeply recommended for everyone to, again, get in touch with it when you're ready. But just to know it is there, waiting for us to remember. Just waiting for us to remember.